right, 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You guys already know what's happening. So right here, we are joined by Rome, Italy's own. We have Alex of Thousand Oaks, and also the other amazing band that he was a part of, called Jet Market. Alex, how are you doing tonight, or I should say this morning for you?
Hello, hi. Yeah, everything is okay. Thanks a lot for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Hey, you're most certainly welcome. I have to say, this is actually a history-making broadcast for our radio station. We have never interviewed anyone from Italy, let alone the beautiful city of Rome as well. So definitely, it's such a tremendous honor, and it's a great how technology works. I could be here in Canada, you can be out there in the ancient city of Rome, and we can still actually coordinate this and make this happen. So God bless technology.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah.
But obviously, right now, you're a part of Thousand Oaks. But I want to take you back to the year 1998. Well, actually, in high school, you guys actually formed the other band, called Jet Market, where you guys actually used to do Green Day and No Effects covers and whatnot. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story behind Jet Market, and of course, like what actually ultimately led to you joining that band, and of course, just venturing into the music industry originally.
All right, yeah. So yeah, the band started back when we were in high school. We were all schoolmates, like classmates, some of us, and basically the first version of Jet Market, which was called Deafening Silence at the beginning, was our first approach ever to music. So we started the band when we were really young. We were all 15 years old. And we started practicing together. The school we attended had a music room for bands, so you just needed to reserve a spot in the week, and you just could go there and jam with your friends. And it was amazing, because it was the high school years, so we were so enthusiastic, and everything was so fresh and new for us. It felt so, I don't know, adventurous, and it was a period when punk rock was really trendy. So I remember it was pretty popular in my school. Every other guy was in a punk rock band. There was another new band starting every day. So I don't know. I remember it felt really good. And so yeah, we started practicing together, and that created a bond that lasts to this day, actually, because we are still close friends with all those guys. And we especially with Matteo, the bass player, we still play together in Thousand Oaks. So we've been playing together for 25 years now. It feels like a lifetime ago. And yeah, so we started that band, and then we started going to the shows from other bands from Rome, started participating the Roman punk rock scene, and things grew and grew. And so I think we kept on going on with Jet Market for like 12 years, and we would have never imagined at the beginning that it would brought us like around the world, because with Jet Market we played Japan, Australia, we did a lot of European tours, and we could tell back in the days when we were in high school, we would never even dare to dream something like that. But the punk rock scene, the punk rock community made it possible, because it's like basically made of friends from all over the place, and then you make connections, and then it always starts like, if you guys help us in your country, then we will help you in our country, and then that's how like this DIY tours happen. So yeah, that's pretty much how it started back then. And then we stopped with Jet Market in 2012. We played a farewell show in 2014. And then in 2015, we started Thousand Oaks, which actually felt pretty much as the continuation of that project, with a different name, but same people and same music pretty much. So I would say, yeah, it's still the same thing, but with a different name.
And the one thing I have to ask is obviously I know like obviously your main project, their main focus is the interview is Thousand Oaks, but the one album that I really remember from Jet Market is actually Everyday Casualties. That if I'm not mistaken was actually your guys' debut studio album. I just gotta dig into that, man, because in my honest opinion, this album is an absolute masterpiece. I remember listening to this way back in the day. I was wondering if you could just break down this phenomenal record, and of course, is it actually still out there to be streamed or purchased? Because obviously in 02, there was no streaming services. So this actually since been uploaded to the net to be streamed on all streaming media platforms. Sorry.
I'm not sure if it's on the internet at the moment, but we could certainly re-upload it to our digital distributor in order to have it on Spotify and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe we're bringing it back to the digital platforms. And yeah, remember that record? When we recorded that, I was still on the guitar. And I remember we had some personal problems with the drummer we had back then, and he decided to quit the band just the day before we entered the studio. So it was like a big crisis moment for us, and we had the studio booked for months then, and we didn't want to cancel. And so we called this other friend of ours who was a phenomenal drummer, and we asked him, "Hey man, we're not asking you to join the band because we know you're busy, but if you could just try and give it a try and learn the songs tonight and record tomorrow, maybe." And that's how we went actually. So all the songs, all the drums you hear on that record, they were learned like just the day before going to the studio. So that's definitely the thing I remember most vividly of that recording, because yeah, it was pretty unusual to do something like that. And yeah, but it turned out to be so good because this guy Daniele, who recorded the drums for us, is an amazing drummer. So I don't know, probably worked out for the best at the end of the day. So
And I gotta say, the one song that I thoroughly enjoyed was actually "Waiting for Society," man. Obviously, this whole record is amazing, and just knowing the story behind it too, just how like the bass player decided to quit like right at the day you guys got the studio booked, and just for this album to come out just so amazing is just it sounds like a little bit of heartbreak, but also it was very rewarding in the long run after dealing with all that BS. But getting a project like this to actually come out after all that is definitely must have felt amazing for you guys, especially back then in '02.
yeah. I still don't know how we pulled it off to this day, honestly. So we made it thanks to this friend of ours. And then after the record, we felt like we needed to have it recorded to at least try to look for another drummer, already having the material to offer to this new figure. But eventually, after some months, I decided to give it a try, and that moment was when I started playing drums and singing, because we were big fans of the Satanic Surfers, so we thought like maybe if they can do it, we can do it. I don't know, let's give it a try, and yeah, it worked out, and that's the solution we're going with today. So yeah, that's something that lasted for the last 20 years.
And also going into the Thousand Oaks side of things, because obviously I know you mentioned briefly about how you guys Thousand Oaks is pretty much Jet Market with just a different name. Can you tell me a little bit more the evolution into Thousand Oaks? I do know you said Jet Market had their reunion show, sorry, in 2014, and then obviously it evolved from there. What actually made you decide to kind of rebrand your band and turn it into Thousand Oaks?
So when we decided to split up with Jet Market, it happened, I think, because we were touring a lot those years, and being a small DIY band and touring a lot can cause a lot of stress because it's not really rewarding in terms of success or stuff like that. So it can be really hard to, always have to leave, but not making any money, or most of the times actually losing money. So we probably pushed too hard for 3-4 years. The last 4 years we played together. and that brought a lot of stress into the band at a personal level, and we eventually decided not to go on anymore. And after we broke up, I still had a bunch of songs I wrote for Jet Market that I wanted to record, so I did these 2 records solo, and I called them Dad Market because it was basically Jet Market, but after we split up. And after a couple of years, Agostino, the guitar player from Jet Market, gave me a call, and he was like, "Hey, how would you feel about starting a new skate punk band?" And I was like, "Man, I'm always up for it. I mean, I love it, and I actually never wanted to quit, so never wanted to stop. So I'm ready whenever you want to." And then we those years we were playing with Matteo, the bass player from Jet Market in Thousand Oaks, and we were playing together in another band called Median, and we were playing some sort of like post-hardcore kind of music. And so we talked to him, and it was into the project as well, and we started the band as a 3-piece. And then after some months, after we recorded the first album, we got in touch again with Rob from Jet Market, the guitar player, and we convinced him to join the band again. And it worked for like 1.5 years maybe, and then he just got tired of going around and playing and stuff, so he quit. And that's how Thousand Oaks basically started. And then it evolved in another direction, because Agostino, the guy who wanted to start a band, kind of got carried away with some other things in his life, so didn't have time anymore to play with us. And then Ray joined the band. This guy from Venezuela who lives in Germany. And then after Agostino quit the band too, because Ray replaced Rob, and Agostino was replaced by Dave, who's another friend of ours. He's the guitar player from The Effect, Heuristic, and he's Scottish. He lives in Scotland. So we're not an Italian band anymore, but we're basically like a sort of a European band, except from Ray, who's South American. But yeah, we're a melting pot now. I mean, we're still used to say that we're based in Italy and in Rome, but it's actually not true, because just me and the bass player, we live here, but the other 2 guys live in Germany and Scotland. So we're pretty much spread out in Europe.
And also, as well, you guys were also once signed to a Japanese based label titled Milestone Sounds. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about the story behind that particular record deal. And of course, what was it like just working with that Japanese label during the early days of Thousand Oaks?
All right, so this thing with the Japanese label goes back to, because it all started when this dear friend of mine, Yuki Kinoshita, he came to Rome. He came to Italy on holiday, and one night we were playing with the band Not Available, and with another band from Rome called Nap Kidnappers. We were playing a show in Rome, and he came to see Not Available, and he was really impressed by us, because he called us the Italian Satanic Surfers, because of the drums and vocals. And we got in touch, and back then, like, internet was not how it is these days. So I remember he gave me his business card, and then we started emailing each other for some time. And he said he had this record label in Japan called Poor Boy, and that he was really interested in putting us out in Japan with Jet Market. And so he did. And the first record he put out in Japan was, I think, Freedom Slaves, like the EP we released after Everyday Casualties. And that release led to another release and another one, and eventually it got us to tour Japan, because at one point it was like, would you guys be interested in touring Japan? I think back then we only toured Europe like a handful of times. So we were like, I think we were like 23 or 24 back then, and we were like, man, it would be a dream to come to play to Japan. And then he booked for us like three tours in like 5 years. and at some point he stopped putting records out, and then he converted to Milestone Sounds. So, and it's the label and distribution is still going on these days. And so yeah, that's the story behind the our Japanese experience. And then when he stopped booking tours for us, another booking agency took over, Romantic Nobita, who are the guys who brought a lot of European and American bands to Japan in the last like 10 years. So we went back with them too. And we absolutely love Japan. We had some of our best shows there. It's an amazing country. We like to be there. We love to be there. So hopefully one day we get the chance to go back there to play again for those beautiful crowds.
And also as well, September 8th of 2018, you guys actually released a split album. A split single release alongside One Hidden Fame. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about the split release, and of course, what was it like just working alongside Hidden Fame for this particular release?
All right, so I think One Hidden Fame are like my favorite European band, and so we've been friends for a while. We met at Punk Rock Holiday in Slovenia, and then we stayed friends. We played some shows. They booked a tour for us in Finland, and we played some shows together in Italy too. And I always loved them very, very much, and we always stayed in touch. So one day I had this idea of offering the chance to record the split together at my studio in Rome, and the guys were happy to do it. So we scheduled everything. They flew to Rome, and we recorded together, and it was an amazing experience. I totally loved the band, so it's really an honor for me and for us to share the split together with them. And yeah, we just kept on meeting at these festivals in Europe during summer and stuff, and we're still close friends to this day. And yeah, we loved him, and we loved the split, and we loved the chance we had to make the split with them.
And I have to say, that split album, in my honest opinion, is absolutely amazing. You can definitely tell the similarities behind both of your guys' music. You can really hear that they definitely influenced you guys as well, and you can definitely tell that, like you mentioned, like One Hidden is actually one of your favorite bands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, totally. I remember when we were still playing with them with this idea of doing a split together. They sent us these 2 songs they had ready to go, and we were like, "Oh, these songs are so amazing, such amazing riffs and stuff." So we took like the best 2 songs we had from the record we wanted to record next, and we just used them, just to even like the quality of the songs. I would say we felt like we had to step up our game.
And also, September 15th of 2023, you guys actually released the amazing 18-track album titled Remnants. I was wondering if you actually can tell us a bit more about your most recently released album, and of course, where can we actually buy or stream ourselves a copy of this amazing album today?
Right. So Remnants actually is a project we starting during the COVID lockdown. Because back then I remember we had this huge session, because both the bass player and we have our own recording studios, and so we were always demoing for Thousand Oaks or our bands, and we have this session full of riffs and ideas and fragments of songs and stuff. And I remember back in the COVID days, we decided it was time to organize all these riffs ideas we had, and so we basically reorganized all the demo sessions we had, and we ended up having like 30 songs or something. So we thought we definitely should use some of these songs for a new album, which is On a Wing and a Prayer, that came out this year as well. And then we had some, let's call them leftovers. And we just actually decided to, since we had a bunch of songs that we only published on the internet or on compilations on single albums or EPs or splits, we decided to gather all the material together and to make this comprehensive collection of all the songs we had released, but that weren't on our album specifically. And so that's how Remnants came to life. I mean, we spent a lot of time recording the new songs and especially remixing the old thing together, because it was this big Frankenstein, because there were songs from different years and from different records or sessions. So it was a big work to put all the material together technically and remix the whole thing together in order to make it sound like a whole album, like its own thing. And so we did it, and I think that record was ready to go like a couple of years ago, but then with COVID and with the vinyl crisis and for a lot of different reasons, it never came out. And so eventually we decided to put out On a Wing and a Prayer, the other record, first. And then after some months, we decided to put out Remnants as well, just because we're already working on new material now. So we just wanted to, I don't know, we just wanted to put it out and leave it behind and just focus on the new material we're working on. So that's the story behind it, pretty much.
And I don't blame you guys for waiting as well, man. I think that was definitely a smart idea, because COVID definitely screwed up the music industry in, excuse me, so many different ways. So the fact that you guys waited was definitely the best bet, because so many people were putting out albums and not really thinking like that. Like with the vinyl crisis, people were literally placing orders for their vinyls and waiting 2 years. But by the time you would have got your vinyls, you would have already had another album already created and already done, and then you'd be sitting on a stack of vinyls that nobody wanted. So it definitely was a great choice on your behalf by just holding on to the masters and waiting for the right time to release them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly how it went.
But also as well, March 29th of 2024, you guys will actually be performing in Manchester, United Kingdom for the Manchester Punk Fest Manchester Punk Fest 2024. I was wondering, what can our listeners actually expect from this up and coming show of yours? And of course, where can we actually snag ourselves some tickets today, if they are indeed available yet to be purchased?
I think they're available on the website, so you can get the tickets there, definitely. And yeah, we've been willing to play Manchester Punk Festival for years, and we finally got the chance this year, and we're thrilled. We're humbled and honored. I mean, we're already practicing for it, so we're just so happy to have the chance to participate. It's going to be an amazing festival. I cannot wait to be there and play.
And I have to ask, Alex, what is next for yourself and, of course, Thousand Oaks? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this evening's interview? Anything else you do still want to talk about, touch on, or promote? Well, we still got you here live on the radio station airwaves tonight.
As I was saying before, we're working on new material now. We still don't know if it's going to be like an EP or another album, but definitely we're trying to get it done in the first half of next year. So probably if it's going to be an EP early next year, or if it's going to be a full album maybe in spring or early summer, something like that. But yeah, let's see what happens.
But obviously, Alex, before we actually part ways here this evening, I know how to follow you on social media, but for the individuals here in Canada that might just be discovering yourself and Thousand Oaks here tonight, how can we actually go about following not only yourself, but the rest of the band on social media across all platforms? That way we can stay updated on not just the Manchester Punk Fest 2024 show, but of course, the brand new record when it does drop to the general public.
I think the best channels now are Instagram and Facebook, because that's where we post all of our updates. So if you're interested in the band, that's totally the place to be. I mean, to stay up to date with all the news and all the progress and whatever we're up to, shows or records or whatever. Yeah.
And I got to say, first and foremost, Alex, thank you so much again for actually staying up this morning and to chat with myself and my radio station Airways. It was such an honor to speak with Italy's finest, and I hope down the line when the new album drops next year, we can get you back on the radio station and chop it up some more, man. Thank you so much, and definitely have yourself a phenomenal morning out there in Rome.
Thanks a lot, man. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you. Thanks.
You're most certainly welcome, man.